John Nash was introduced into the world of mathematics during the nuclear age, when experts in such a field were in high demand. Nash's intellectual triumph over psychological tragedy made him an economic and mathematical prodigy, as well as a psychiatric sensation. Nash is one of the few in our world that can see things in the ordinary that make them extraordinary, showing the true brilliance of the color gray. John Forbes Nash, Jr. was born on June 13, 1928, at the Bluefield Sanitarium in Bluefield, West Virginia. During his childhood, John, or Johnny as his family referred to him, was antisocial with a love for books. While other children may engage in games with one another, Johnny would play in solitude with matchbox cars or immerse himself in Time and Life magazines or Compton's Pictured Encyclopedia. At the age of 14, Nash read E.T. Bell's Men of Mathematics and proved Fermat's theorem, sparking his lifelong love for number theory and mathematics. John enrolled at Carnegie Institute of Technology as a student of chemical engineering in 1945 after winning one of 10 full-tuition George Westinghouse scholarships. Within a semester, he decided to switch his major to his favorite subject, chemistry. Soon thereafter, having recognized his aptitude for the subject, the mathematics faculty set out to recruit John as a mathematics major, succeeding within a very short amount of time. This major carried Nash throughout his remaining years at Carnegie, and in 1948, at graduation, awarded him a bachelor's and master's in his field. Throughout college, Nash was a common subject of social ridicule. His odd and unconventional ways were not accepted by his peers. One fellow student wrote of John, "We tormented poor John. He was a country boy, unsophisticated even by our standards. He behaved oddly, playing a single chord on a piano over and over, leaving a melting ice cream cone melting on top of his cast-off clothing, walking on his roommate's sleeping body to turn off the light." The Carnegie staff, however, saw him in quite a different light. Upon acceptance and offered fellowships to Harvard and Princeton universities, Nash's academic advisor wrote him a one-sentence recommendation: "This man is a genius." Nash entered Princeton University in September of 1948. As most of the mathematics graduate students, he rarely attended class. His reasons, however, were quite different. Nash feared blunted originality. He sought out new ways to learn new things. He would wander corridors, ride on windows, and ride his bike in figure eights, searching for the perfect problem to answer. Though he studied a broad range of pure mathematics, his real love was the subject of game theory. While at Princeton, he developed a game known in the common room as Nash, now turned Hex, a game in which it is impossible to tie or draw, and awards a proportional disadvantage to the opponent's advantage. Nash received his doctorate from Princeton in 1950 with a 27-page dissertation that has come to be known as Nash's equilibrium. Writer Peter Ordashuk described it as perhaps the most important idea in non-cooperative game theory. Put simply, equilibrium strategies are the things we predict about people. Though Nash saw little to no promise in his thesis, it would soon revolutionize the world of economics. After graduation, Nash worked as a leading Cold War conflict expert at RAND, applying his previously developed game theory to military and diplomatic strategy. In 1951, he joined the staff of the MIT Mathematics Department. There he made several largely influential breakthroughs in areas such as real algebraic values, Riemannian geometry, and parabolic and elliptic equations. With all of this, however, John still believed himself to be a failure. Within his time at MIT, he also experienced several drastic changes in his personal life. Nash entered into his first serious relationship with Eleanor Steer, an affair that ultimately produced a son, John David Steer. However, Nash insisted upon keeping the relationship and child under wraps and refused to enter into marriage. However, while on academic sabbatical in 1956, John gave love a second chance. Alicia Larday, a young physics major at MIT, caught his eye. They were married in February of 1957. By 1958, Alicia was pregnant. Soon after Alicia announced her pregnancy, John began to act strangely, even more so than usual. At a New Year's Eve costume party in 1959, John dressed up as a baby and laid in his wife's lap all evening wearing nothing but a diaper. Later, in the